afternoon. If you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the laws of the state of Utah, on penalty of perjury, that the testimony you give in this matter today will be true and correct, so help you God? Thank you. Please have a seat up there. It's hot in here, Mr. Watabi.
It's a little bit.
Wait a minute, I'm going to turn it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mrs. Restelli.
Good afternoon.
I know yesterday we got to talk a little bit about Matt and kind of the relationships there. But do you know who Tracey Grist is?
Yes, it's my son's mother-in-law.
And do you see her here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point to her and identify something she's wearing?
She's wearing kind of a dark blue dress.
Okay. Well, court note for the record, she's a defendant.
So noted, thank you.
When did you first meet the defendant?
Pardon me?
When did you first meet the defendant?
Oh, probably sometime before they were married, probably, at the house.
Okay. Do you recall roughly a year?
It was before that, probably several years before.
So 2016-ish?
I know I saw her in 2016, and maybe a little bit before that.
And how many times do you think you've spoken to the defendant?
Maybe, if you count the telephone conversations, maybe 6 or 7.
And when was the last time you saw the defendant in person?
I believe it was at a Walmart in around the time of May of 2024.
Okay. Was that just a random meeting?
She had come in to visit her daughter, and they'd asked if I would come meet them at the store briefly and do a little shopping.
Which daughter was she visiting?
She was visiting Kate.
Okay. So was she with Kate and Matt at that time?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you find out that Kate had taken the kids and left from California to Utah?
It was sometime in that early week of June. I don't recall if it was, I think it was, the mother also informed me that Kate had gotten there safe and she was taking a breather.
Okay, so you talked, who did you find out from?
I'm not sure if I heard from Matt briefly, and then I heard also from Tracey.
Okay, and do you remember what that conversation was about?
It was just very brief, and I think we even had some text messages, or it might even been a text message that we had between us, that she was there and got there safe.
Okay, did you ever talk to Kate about it?
No, Kate had no conversations with me about it at all.
And when was the last time you talked to Matthew?
I talked to him about 2 hours before the murder.
I think we talked about it a little yesterday, but do you remember what kind of, what was his mood at the time?
His mood was fine. He was a little frustrated over something that happened at a short order food place. But he seemed fine. He had water, he had had food, and he was well awake for the drive.
And when did you find out that Matthew had died?
I found out the following morning, sometime around maybe the 7, 8 o'clock-ish hour, and I got a phone call from Tracey.
The defendant?
Yes.
And what did she tell you at that time?
Basically asked me if I was sitting down and was my husband with me, and I said yes, and then she said, quote, "Matt is dead."
And did you talk to her again after that?
I was pretty much speechless. I thought it was just a dream. I mean, I didn't comprehend it at that time, and I ended the conversation and said, "I'll have to talk to you later."
Okay. And did you talk to her again?
Yes, we did make another phone call.
And who were you with when you made the phone call?
I was with Mark, my son. I asked him to come over and explain to him that Matt was dead, and I don't know any circumstances. And I asked Mark to come over.
And did you record that phone call?
I believe we did.
Why did you record it?
I didn't really think about that. I think it was more of my son's thought that we needed to know just the details and just remember the details of what had happened.
Okay. And after that phone call, what day was that again?
That was on a Saturday, I believe.
So was it the next morning after, or do you recall what time of the day that phone call was?
I think there was one, sometime that day, Saturday, I believe, and then we had another phone call later.
Did you record that one as well?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I'd like to play what's been marked as State's Exhibit. like to play what is marked as State's Exhibit 34.
Any objection, Mr. Facebar?
No,
Thank you.
I'm not gonna let it.
Okay, can I stop it there for a second? Is this the first phone call that you recorded?
It could very well be. I didn't really hear all the words, but it seems to be.
Okay, we can play it through some more.
She probably won't answer the phone now. All right, Tracy, you have to tell me.
Okay, push pause. Is this one of the phone calls you recorded?
Yes,
Do you recall which one it was?
I think it was the one on that Saturday.
The first one?
Yes.
Okay. State would move to admit and publish to the jury, Your Honor.
Any objection to admitting and publishing?
State's Exhibit 34.
So ordered, thank you.
How are you handling this? What's going on?
You're kind to ask. I'm not handling it well at all. I'm freaking out and I don't know what to do. I'm in a hotel because I can't go to the house right now.
Okay, and what is there a police report?
I have no idea.
Okay, did anybody, what, you have no idea?
Tracy, this is Mark. I'm here with my mom. Like, can you tell us from the beginning what you know?
Yes. So, let's see. Matt was on his way to the house, to my house, because Katie and the kids are here. And they were Kate was undetermined whether she was going to talk for a little while, go right away back to California. It was not abundantly clear what the outcome was going to be of Matt coming out and talking. So about 10 o'clock last night, he got to the house. I was in the kitchen, and I was sitting on the counter. I was alone in the kitchen, and I did not hear the doorbell ring. I didn't hear a door knock. And Matt was in my dining room. And I knew he was due to come over to my house, but I didn't expect to look up and see him there. He was really, really mad and like very agitated, for lack of a better term, and you're fine. I stayed in the kitchen. I said, Kate's upstairs, but she's going to come downstairs. And I stayed in the corner of my kitchen because I was feeling uncomfortable at that moment. I was very thrown off that he was inside the house and I didn't know it. And then he went around the corner, and then I heard gunshots. I don't know how many, four, I think.
Jesus.
And Matt was on the ground, and he had a knife in his hand. And we called 911. And I told Katie to stay upstairs while I called 911 because I didn't want her to see it. And I wanted her to stay upstairs with the kids. They were sleeping though, and I didn't know they were sleeping. And the police came and separated us, talked to us, and I not slept for 1 second. So that's why I'm really upset, and I'm in a combination of shock and sadness, and so my son Kevin was taken to jail after 6 or 7 hours, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Did
That's
with before the gunshots, did you hear an altercation? Did you hear
no,
screaming? Nothing. Just
no. I don't. If there was noise, I didn't hear it or I don't remember it.
when you saw Matt with the knife like, or in his hand.
I personally did not see him walking with the knife. I saw him on the ground.
Was it like
Immediately
like
after.
a pocket knife? Was it like a
It was like
kitchen knife?
oh golly, like it.
Like Matt doesn't
Somebody-
carry a knife typically.
Okay, well, I don't.
I'm just wondering. I'm trying to put this together. This is mind blowing.
Yes, I agree. It was. I can't think of the way to describe it. It's like a tactical knife.
Did what? So the kids never woke up. The kids are still what with Kate? Where?
There was me and Katie in a hotel room,
Okay.
and she was just trying to Google how to tell children because she hasn't told them, but she wants to be able to do it in the healthiest way, and I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do it either. I guess my only suggestion would be to take a minute while everybody's emotional. But so do you know what where they took Matt?
I do not know.
I'm assuming the so you said they took Kevin to jail.
Yes.
I'm guessing that the house is a crime scene at the moment.
Yes.
What's the address and what's the law enforcement agency that was there that we can call to find out where Matt is?
American Fork Police Department. Mark.
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes.
I'm really sorry for your loss. Genuinely sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is
You know, I'm just saying it.
what's the house number?
114 South, 920 East, American Fork, Utah.
Now, was there any? I mean, I know Matt probably. I mean, driving out to Utah, probably not the happiest. But was there an altercation on the phone before this? Like, was there?
I personally have no idea. I was at work all day yesterday, and I have no idea.
I know I spoke to Matt about 7:20 that night. He said he was 2 hours out from Utah, and he was excited to be able to pick up his family and children. And I know I left a message a little after 10, that he arrive. So I know I had a conversation with him, and he was very calm, wanting to bring his family back.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that either. I don't know what to say. I didn't see anything myself. I saw zero. I stayed in the kitchen because I was feeling uneasy, and my reaction usually is I freeze. If there's some emergency.
Did you know that your son Kevin had a gun in the house?
It's my gun, and it was in a gun safe, and I moved it from my bedroom to the garage.
To the garage in a gun safe, or?
Yes, in a gun safe. Yes.
And your son Kevin knew where the gun was?
Yes, he moved it for me because I wanted to make sure it was really high up. So because there was children in the house, and even though it's in a gun safe with a code, I just wanted it high up.
Was there a reason for the gun to be out of the safe, like prior to Matt's arrival, or was it like did it come out of the safe when you got there?
When.
Was it a scramble and race for it? Like what?
I do not know.
Yeah.
All right. I guess if there's any more information that you can share with us, later, please do.
Of course.
I am still in major shock, and I'm hurt to the core because I know how much he protected Kate through all of this. He never spoke poorly of Kate. Never. And he was really looking forward to bringing the family back.
I didn't want to make this call, by the way, so I'm sorry.
Nobody wants to make a call like this.
All right. Anything else, babe?
No, I think
Please-
we're just gonna have to
please
get.
keep us-
We just
please
have to
keep
get
us
details on.
As to what the plans are.
Hey, Lucas, I think he's at the house right now.
At whose house?
At Matt and Kate's house. Matt, there was a fire at Vale Lake, and they evacuated Vale Lake campground, and Matt asked Lucas to go to the house. But I don't know if he went or not.
Okay, I'm gonna have to think on that. This is gonna,
I mean,
this is going to crush,
I
this is
think-
going to crush
I
Lucas.
think we need to have him come here. I don't think we can.
I think
I don't-
that's-
I
I
don't
think-
think we can
yes.
tell him over the phone. I think he needs to come
But
here.
he's out there protecting the property right
And
now.
Kate,
But right
Kate
now,
doesn't
there's-
have her phone. Kate doesn't have her phone right
I
now.
get that
Kate
Lucas is.
doesn't have her phone?
No,
Where's her phone?
the authorities have her phone.
Okay,
She
okay.
gave them permission and her passcode and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna see. We got to get Lucas to come here
Okay, all right. Well,
without telling him, or I'll have to go out there
okay,
and go tell him.
okay, we will work on that. We have, because
But we
he's
can't
in a
tell
very
him.
delicate state.
Nobody can tell him over the phone.
Oh, he's gonna just crack
We
out.
can't tell him over the phone.
Right, and that's
Okay, let us handle that.
yeah. And Diane, the reason I called home before I called you is I wanted to make sure that he was near you because I knew you'd be able to tell by my voice that there is something really wrong. I was trying to do what you're doing for Lucas.
Okay. Okay, well, we're gonna figure out how to handle some of this stuff. Call us back immediately if anything changes or there's anything new.
Of course I will.
Okay,
Right now I'm kind of, I'm also my head is swimming, and so I'm probably not being much help.
okay, all right, keep us posted.
Okay.
Sure, thanks,
Okay,
bye.
thank you. Well, shot it 4 times.
How long after did you make the second call?
I think we had another phone call, I think it was on Sunday. Kate had reached out by, I think, text or something that she wanted to talk to me.
And you recorded that one as well?
We did.
And who was involved in that phone call?
That was gonna be my son, Mark. I was over at his house. It was Tracy and Kate. Tracy was there too, and
Statement,
myself.
statement moved to admit and publish States Exhibit 35.
Any objection? No, Your Honor. So ordered.
Hello?
Tracy, it's Diane.
Hi. Katie's downstairs and she wanted to talk to you.
Okay.
Let me go get her. Hang on a second. Katie, Diane just called. She's on the phone. She's coming.
Okay.
We're stepping outside so the kids can't hear anything.
Where are you?
Right now on the back patio?
Of your house?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so sad right now.
I'm unbelievably broken.
I know you are sad, Diane. I can't imagine how sad you are right now.
So tell me what's on your mind.
I want a proper memorial for me. And the kids are my concern. The kids are so sad.
This whole thing doesn't make sense to me.
I understand where it wouldn't make sense. It is so sad. I didn't want this, Diane. I wanted us happy.
You know, we came there to help you.
He didn't, I don't think he told you everything, Diane.
And neither did you.
And we were trying to keep you out of it because we had issues prior.
But your mother...
And we were trying to make it better on our own. And he was coming here to have a conversation. Okay? Whether he left with the kids and me or just the kids, it was all going to be a conversation. Or alone. It was all going to be a conversation. It needed to be face to face.
And how come that didn't happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did he correspond with you on his drive to the house?
Slightly.
So you knew he was coming?
I knew he was agitated coming. I know he was upset that he was coming.
How come there was a gun that was out?
I don't know.
And who owns that gun?
And I think, Diane, I was not downstairs. And to the best of my knowledge, that gun was in the garage.
And I don't understand why that was part of the greeting for Matt coming to the house.
I don't know, Diane. Honestly, I don't know. I wish I could give you more answers.
After Matt was fatally shot, did anybody try to give him medical assistance in the house?
Yes,
Who?
my mom.
And what did she do?
I don't know. I was upstairs.
And how soon was, 911 called to help you guys?
Immediately, a neighbor called.
And so how would the neighbor know that Matt was fatally shot?
They heard gunshots. My mom couldn't find her phone.
I still don't understand why there was a gun that was present in all of this. And why your brother had to be the go-between.
I don't know.
I am so broken.
As am I, honey, and I believe you. I am in shock right now.
You know, three children don't have their father anymore because of the violence that took place in that home.
That is so sad.
How come Kevin didn't call 911? How come Kevin didn't call?
I don't know, Diane. Did you talk to Lucas?
I did, and he is absolutely saddened to his core in this event, as we all are.
Where is
I
Lucas?
still don't, he's with family, I still don't understand why a gun was brought to this discussion. When you knew, when you knew he was coming, you knew he was coming, and whose gun is it, and how did your brother get access to it? And who else knew he had a gun that he was going to use in this fight?
No one, I don't know. I don't know, Diane.
And what did your brother say happened? What did he tell you?
I haven't talked to him. I don't know.
And you don't know what he shared with even your mom.
I have no idea. Kevin hasn't talked to my mom.
You do know that this is totally out of character for violence to occur like this.
I don't think that's true.
But you did have conversations with Matt, and you knew he was coming. I was under the impression that I didn't know you guys were actually having a separation. When did that occur?
We were trying to make it work and trying to resolve it.
But I didn't know the word separation. I didn't know the word separation was in the midst. That you guys needed time off, and the way you left with me, you were going to go be with your family for a while and have a little vacation. And that's what it was.
And that's what it was.
And that's what it.
Coming out to have a conversation to figure out if that's what we wanted to proceed forward. So really, it was really a vacation for you to come out. And I understood too. Did you want to come back? Yes. And it was honestly, it totally depended on the conversation that Matt and I were about to have, face to face. Because he can act any way on the phone, but how you act face to face is completely different. I wanted to have a conversation with him face to face before I got in the truck with him and went home.
Well, again, I was unaware that this was a separation. I thought it was just a little breather for you because
we were trying to work it out between Matt and myself.
Yeah. And I don't know that, I also was under the impression that you were going to try to come back and rent a car. What happened with the car rental? What happened with the car rental? Because I thought you were...
Because I have an out-of-state driver's license, I could not rent a car on my debit card. Mm-hmm. My mom hit some hurdles and had no money. Her water got turned off at her studio, so she lacked hours, and she had an unexpected expense that she had to pay.
Because that's why I was very happy that, after 3 weeks that Matt was going to help bring you back, because there was, these things, these glitches that were preventing you from, joining as a family.
I understand. We were working on things and trying to make it work, and there were points where it was clear to me that he didn't want to go in the same direction I wanted to go in. And I feel like he knew I felt like that, and he was upset.
Do you think that Matt was really going to kill your brother?
I have no idea.
And do you believe that this particular shooting was justified, that occurred in that house, that being killed was justified
Diana can't answer that question.
I hear your mom in the background. She's giving you answers. I was hoping that you were speaking
This
from your...
is all still under investigation.
I was
Diane.
hoping that you were speaking from your heart.
I am trying to speak from my heart without saying the wrong thing.
And also I read in a brief article that showed up that your brother was found with drugs. Did you know he was on drugs?
No, I had no idea he was on drugs. Not a clue he was on drugs.
And that was an information that your mother didn't share with you either, with him living or being around that home?
How would she know? She doesn't know. She doesn't, he's over 18. Why would she be checking his drawers? He acts completely normal.
Well, and I'm still questioning, why was there a gun in the house? With children in the house,
It
why
was
was...
in the garage, Diane.
But it wasn't in the garage when the shooting took place. The shooting did
I
not
was
take...
gonna say, there was...
The shooting didn't take place in the garage, it took place in the house.
In the hallway, I understand.
I know, but this was,
I-
to me, somebody brought that gun out of the garage.
I was not downstairs. I do not know what happened, okay? I cannot give you any answers, Diane.
Did you, it also said in the article that
I am not
Kevin-
going to answer any more questions about what happened. We can talk about a memorial service for Matt if you'd like, but I don't want to talk about what happened
Well,
anymore.
I
don't
think-
appreciate the way you're talking with me.
I just want to know, you are the person that was there and a witness, and I was
I
not.
was upstairs, Diane. I was not a witness.
But you heard the gunshots, why weren't you, did you go down and give assistance to
My
Matt?
mother came upstairs and said, "Do not come downstairs. There's something happened," and I'm calling 911.
But I also thought that your mother was giving, first aid to Matt. How could she be upstairs when she should have been down assisting Matt in his time of need?
There's 8 minutes or 4 minutes. There's a Diane.
Minutes count when someone,
Once she figured out that she couldn't
minutes
say,
count
Diane,
that somebody's bleeding to death. And the number of shots that they're saying took place is totally unimaginable.
That's you.
And what gets me is you knew he was coming, and he was there and happy to do so. But someone
He was not happy with me.
someone brought that gun in the house and turned it into a different fight. As far as a memorial service for Matt, you're the one that has the married woman, you're the wife, you have all the cards in your hand for that event. So, you will have to do what you wish to do.
Okay, I have no money for any of that, so I will figure out how I will do that then.
I don't understand even why you would want a memorial in light of the fact that Matt is being made as the negative person in this whole situation. I don't see where all of a sudden you want to have a memorial, something, positive for him, when this whole thing came down to, quote, a separation and all the other things you're saying. I don't know where this part's coming from.
Because he's my husband. I don't understand where you don't.
Where
You don't get that.
it was stated that Matt had a knife. Where was the knife when he came into the house?
His hand.
And where was the knife after he was shot down?
His hand.
And you know,
I don't know, Diane. It was the most traumatic thing walking past his body. Okay, I didn't want to look.
How could the knife be in his hand if she's providing life-saving care?
and again,
The
Tracey,
layout of the house, the garage is next to the living room.
and when Matt fell to the ground, he still had possession of the knife in his hand?
Yes.
And during all,
to my knowledge, yes.
and during all the life-saving
feel-
measures, the knife stayed in his hand?
I don't know.
You know, there's a lot of unanswered questions here.
For everyone.
I am absolutely stunned that a family, you know, can have such violence take place. And, you know, you're just gonna have to share your plans with me, because I am stunned. Is your mom still standing there?
No, she went inside.
You know, I have more questions for her.
If you would like, I can easily call her back out here. She's just inside with the kiddos.
Okay.
Okay. Mom, you want to come back out here? Yeah, it'll be fine. You're welcome. Hi.
You know, Tracey, I'm still concerned as to, you know, the fact that Matt was shot multiple times. And when were you able to give life-saving measures to Matt?
I'm in so much shock, and I can't have the conversation going over the experience again because I am so sad. I just need some time.
Well, and I think the part that really disturbs me is that a number of the shots were in Matt's back.
I actually have no idea where the shots were.
Yeah, that's what's being reported. That he
I
was
don't know if that's accurate or not.
he was not moving forward in any aggressive manner, but was shot in the back.
I have no idea.
Multiple times. That
Again,
was-
I have no idea.
And does your son have a history of anger issues?
Absolutely not.
Has he ever had any violent history?
No.
And you do know they're saying that Matt was found face down
Yes.
and shot in the back multiple times.
I have no idea how.
And your son has
I
never
have
had
no idea.
and your son has never had any other, you know, violent issues or.
Never once.
Did you really try to save him, Tracey? Did you really try to save him?
I was on the phone.
Did Kevin
try.
did Kevin try to save him?
Yes.
And what did he do?
I don't know. I know he was checking for his pulse and he was trying. I don't know what he did because there was a moment that I did run upstairs and say, "Don't come downstairs, Katie."
So only he was really the one that was attempting to do something. After violently attacking Matt, he went over to him to try to help. So you were not initially there to help as much as to tell Katie not to come downstairs to assist with Matt, with multiple puncture wounds in his body.
I want to help you right now understand, but I don't think I can.
Well, you know, there's a lot of unanswered questions, and this has really,
Me too.
this has really started a monumental flow of events that have to be resolved. And I thought that they had found him, that he was face down during all of this. And how were you able to give CPR to rescue him if he wasn't face up? And yet he was still lifeless and holding a knife. This is a horrific situation, and I am heartbroken to the core over this violent attack.
I am literally nonviolent in every respect.
Well, I didn't say you were. I just said I am heartbroken. I'm heartbroken over this violent attack that occurred in the house. I didn't say you were violent. Well, Kate's going to have to figure out what kind of plans for a lot of things. And
Do you know what you'd like to do for a memorial? Do you have any ideas?
I have no idea for memorial, and I'm really not comfortable with a memorial at this time.
I understand that.
Did Matt say anything to anybody in his last breaths before he died?
No, not that I heard. Not that I heard.
It just
Nothing.
seems incongruent that a family would hold a memorial for someone that they have just violently taken away.
I'm so confused by what you just said. So I
No,
don't
I'm just saying
understand.
that a family that's just taken someone's life now wants to plan a memorial.
A memorial would be for the children's sake, and for Katie, and for...
But Katie, as they're stating, is that she was separated, and you know they were agitated with each other in some way, according to her. I don't know why she would want to memorialize the situation.
She was just taking some time to think things through.
Right, and it didn't have to. In
The
a gun.
separation word was mine. I said, you know, they were separated, but that was just something I said off the top of my head. It wasn't something Katie had talked about.
I know. Well, I'm just saying that it just seems very insensitive to do a memorial when, you know, Matt only came out there to help because no one seemed to have any money to bring her back. So I don't understand. It's almost like I don't understand having a great memorial when the brother was already set up and ready and armed to do damage.
That is so not what happened.
He had a gun, babe. He had a gun. He was ready.
That's not true.
Then why was he armed? Why was there a gun?
I bought it. I bought that gun back when COVID was going on because I thought it was a good idea because I'm a single woman and I thought having some protection in case something bad happened would be wise.
Mm-hmm. And you do know that the papers is also saying that he tested positive for coke.
I cannot believe that, but I believe it. What a dumb thing. I
And
don't
yet he
know
had access-
anything about that.
And he had access to a gun. A gun that was not secured with children in the
It was-
house.
It was in a locked safe high up in the garage.
And who had the combination or the lock to that safe? Obviously,
Everyone but Rory, and well, Katie doesn't, but everyone but Rory.
okay, so your son had access to get to that gun if he needed it.
Well, I asked him to get passports once. I'd asked him to get other things out of it for me.
But he knew the gun was there. He knew the gun was,
with the passport.
and he took the gun out in anticipation of Matt's arrival. While on
I don't
coke.
think that's the case.
He had the gun when Matt arrived. Did he
I
go
have no
out to the
idea.
garage and get the gun and then
I-
shoot Matt?
I have no idea. I did not see any of that.
And
I
did
have no idea where Kevin even was. I was in the kitchen.
you also know that the paper stated that he was not legally supposed to ever have a gun.
Yeah, he had a, yeah.
And yet
When
he
he
had a
broke up
gun.
with his girlfriend, his fiance, a few years ago, 3 years ago, he was calling her incessantly. And she got a protective order, so he wouldn't call her anymore.
And yet,
And he said that's fine because he was never going to go to Chicago again.
but he also, in that order, was told he could never have a gun, and yet he had access to a gun.
I forgot all about it. Since I forgot about it, there's a really good chance he didn't remember either because it was a while back and it was I forgot.
And I don't understand why Kevin was so upset when Matt arrived that he was prepared for a fight. What happened in the dialogue between the family and setting the situation up for Kevin to be anticipating trouble?
I don't have any idea what was in Matt's head or Kevin's head. I don't know what you're talking about.
But obviously Kevin was aware of some kind of relationship with what was going on with, Kate and Matt, that he was privileged to some kind of dialogue
You're
between-
wanting answers I don't have.
between all of you, okay?
You're
there was-
wanting answers I don't have.
But why would he bring a gun to the fight when he knew nothing about what was going on between Matt and Kate?
You're asking me something I have no way of answering.
Somebody knows the answer to that, because there's no way that someone would have that much anger in their heart to come
Kevin
prepared.
is the most sweet, kind, peaceful, gentle soul. Timmy and Jacob and Kevin are the sweetest boys. They're so gentle and so kind and so sweet.
But yet you just told me that he had a protective order against him because of some relationship issues with one of his
Because his
fiancés.
heart was broken and he kept trying to call her incessantly to talk with her.
Was he on coke how long has he been on coke?
I had no idea he's ever even done that.
It seems
I
to me,
had zero, I had zero idea.
it seems to me there was some discussion and sharing from your daughter that there was problems at home with him.
My son?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when his girlfriend broke up with him after being engaged, he was really, really sad, and he was just sad, and he was getting things back together and trying to. He's been working, and he's good.
Well, not good in the fact that he shot Matt, killed him, including shooting him in the back. I don't interpret that the same way you do. And especially being positive for coke and, coming to a battle with a gun, he intended and was potentially going to do serious harm. In your mind, do you really think this was Kevin trying to have self-defense?
In my mind, my son was only being protective and loving and kind to the people in my home.
And why didn't
That's the
someone
only way
just
I know my son
and
to
why
be.
didn't someone just open the door and say, "Hey, glad you're here. Would you like a sparkling soda? Come on in. We'll talk about it. We'd like to help as much as we can." Why didn't it end up that way with a positive greeting?
Matt didn't ring the doorbell or knock.
Well, he also knows that sometimes it wakes up the children. I know that happens. You know? I mean, that's not at all unusual. I walk into my son's
Well,
house.
he could have texted Katie.
I think he was in a lot of dialogue, and we knew he was only 2
No,
hours
he
out.
could have texted Katie that I'm here.
I think there's more. I think that she knew he was coming and arriving in a matter of minutes, and Kevin was waiting.
That is,
He was waiting. You had Kevin in there being the go-between.
you are filling in blanks with things in your mind that we don't have the answers to. Not you, not me, not Katie.
Well, I know Matt did notify Kate multiple times. He spoke to me that night. I know the time frame, and he was keeping correspondence with everyone. People knew he was arriving.
Yes.
And all this business of do you ring the doorbell and knock on the door, you knew he was coming. I think the family has a lot of explaining to do. I think that this, is a very serious event in our lives. And did anybody in your family tell Matt not to come?
I didn't tell him not to come. I have no idea what anyone else did.
Because I was under the impression she wanted to come home but had no means to do it. I was under the impression that you had to pay for Pop's registration for his truck, and that you couldn't
Pay part of his rent.
and you couldn't rent a car for Kate to come home. And I also heard that the issue of something about she couldn't rent a car, so she couldn't come home last Friday. So again, everybody wanted her to have the opportunity to go home, but then when he got there, everybody was waiting for him to do something different. And this is the part that disturbs me, that if it was this volatile and that Kevin was on edge, that someone should have called and said, "Please tell Matt to wait a little longer. Things aren't right." And nobody, I don't know if anybody reached out to Matt and shared that. Did Kate even tell him not to come?
I have no idea.
Because this whole thing seems like a setup.
We would never plan to hurt someone.
Well, someone planned with a gun in the house. This was orchestrated.
That is so not true.
Then why was the gun in the house and not in the garage locked up?
The gun was... you're asking me things I can't answer.
You're the owner of the
I don't
gun.
know.
You're the owner of the gun. You're the person that's primarily responsible for the safety of where that gun is kept.
We're not making any progress in bringing peace or solving this or answering questions. So I'm going to let Kate say goodbye to you because I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I think there's some blanks. I think there's some empty answers. I think that there are questions that are obvious that there are answers to, and I clearly see that there was some kind of pattern, and this should have never taken place for a man who drove, over 8 hours or over 6 plus just to help his wife and bring his family back home and share all the good news. And I think some soul searching has to take place amongst, what really went on and why it happened and why the violence took place in that house.
I'm really sorry that you're sad, but I'm going to hang up and go because you're wanting me to tell you things that I have no idea about.
Well, all I can say is that Kate is going to have to give me her plans as to what she needs to do, because, I just need to know what she plans to do as far as, where she lives, just everything. Not that I need to be the one making the plans, but I need to know what her plans are and, what's going on with all of this. All right, well, listen, tell Kate I am also sorry for the loss. I am brokenhearted that the children will never have their father ever give them the guidance and assistance that they need throughout their lives. And this ought to really hit to the core of the family members involved. And, Kate needs to share with me, what are the plans as to where she's going to live.
I'll let her know that you brought that up,
And you do know there's live animals on the property.
Yeah, my sister was going to go figure something out with them.
And why is she allowed on the property? Why is she allowed on the property?
My sister?
Yeah.
Because she stayed there in her trailer.
But she left, and with no word, they all disappeared the day that Kate disappeared. So you're telling me that this was an amicable leaving?
Yes,
And that all of your
as far as I
family,
know.
and that all of your family ghosted Matt and not sharing with him what happened to his family that day they all disappeared.
I'm so confused. So I know that my sister was going to be there when you guys were in Vegas.
No, but she left.
Right, because
She
you
left
guys
because
were in Vegas.
no, she would have stayed if we were in Vegas, but she left, and she also left when Kate left. And every single one of them would not answer the phone and tell Matt that Kate was okay and that she was going to her mom's. Everyone ghosted Matt.
I don't think my sister even knew.
Everyone ghosted Matt.
My sister didn't even know.
They didn't return any phone calls to Matt. None. And I think that at this point, sister is not allowed. No one's allowed on the property except those who own the property.
Okay, I'll let Kelly know. How are you going to take care of puppy dogs?
Well, that's something they should have thought about 2 days ago. Matt's been dead since Friday night before midnight. This is now Sunday. And it's amazing that no one from that family has even thought about asking us or anybody to go out there and to assist. I mean, that's heartless.
Well, I don't even know what to say to that.
Well, this is all part of when you take someone's life and don't realize all the consequences.
I've got to go.
No further questions this time around.